Very good. Hey, Maria.
Good morning, teacher.
Morning. Okay, what else?
Instructions and guidelines on what to follow to make a meal.
Okay, good. Very good. Come on, now think as an owner. What are you thinking of? What do I say when you think of us as an owner? What's important to you? You guys are thinking like a chef.
The time length to make the food.
Okay, but think as an owner. What does the owner care about?
Oh, you mean the cost of the food?
Perfect.
Yep, there you go. There you go. So what is the cost of making it, and what is the selling price, and how much is going to be the contribution margin, right? The middle number, right? Correct? Cost plus contribution margin equals to selling price. So the owner cares about the contribution margin. Got it?
Got it.
So it's very important from an owner standpoint that you are following recipes. Okay? McDonald's, the Burger King, Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, the big franchises, they have made the recipes so good that they know exactly how much milk is going to go in a cup of coffee. It's all standardized. Do you know in Dunkin' Donuts, if you say 2 sugars, they push a button and 2 spoons of sugar go in your coffee? So that's how standardized it is.
It's the same with the milk too, right? I used to work at Tim Hortons and we had a button for milk too.
Yeah, yeah. Small, medium, and large. So I get the medium coffee at Dunkin' Donuts because the medium coffee and the large coffee has the same amount of milk. Nobody knows that. They froth it a little bit longer and that's it. And they charge more for it. So standardizing, so this way the product tastes the same. I mean, when I go to places, if I go there twice, I want to make sure that I'm getting the same product every time I go there. Okay? Like I go to this bakery in the Bronx, and every muffin looks exactly the same. By exactly the same, I mean not exactly the same, but like the size of it is the same because they have perfected the recipe on how to make the muffin. It doesn't fall down or it doesn't fall flat or any of that stuff. Okay, so standardization is very, very, very important. So it's really important that when you come up with a winner, you are able to write a recipe. And in order to write a recipe, you need to know your, hold on, you need to know your measurements. What do you mean by measurements? What do you mean by measurements? Can anybody help me with measurements? What does that mean?
The quantity of the ingredients.
Ingredients, okay. But measurements, what would you measure?
The quantity of each.
Yeah. So how when you go to the store, okay, I don't expect you to know all these things, but when you go to the store, what is one thing that you always need to know?
The price,
Yeah,
something cost,
okay. Price, the cost, okay. What else?
The serving size,
This, what else?
ounces,
Quality.
That's where I was going with it. I need you to know some key figures. How many ounces to a pound? Does anybody know how many ounces to a pound?
16.
There you go. Very good. So tell me, when you get a quarter pounder burger, how many ounces is that?
4.
Good. 4. 4 ounces. Think about it. That's a small. But they make it sound like the quarter pounder burger is huge, right?
Yes.
And they put two 2-ounce burgers together. Make it sound like it's huge. Okay? So if you're in the food service business, you need to know those things, right? Now, that's really, now when you're buying chicken, okay, usually there is wastage. Always remember that. Or beef, usually there is wastage. Any kind of meat, there is some kind of wastage. Wastage is the fat that's in it. That's when you cook it, that comes out. Okay? So you might be cooking a pound of beef, but at the end, when it comes out, after it's cooked, it might be not 16 ounces, it might be 12 ounces. Okay? So it might shrink. Not might, it will shrink. So that is called yield. Y-I-E-L-D. How much does this yield? Okay, Y-I-E-L-D, yield. It's like when you cook rice. You take like 1 cup of rice, but then it turns into 1 3/4 cup. If you measure after you cook it, becomes 1.5 to 1 3/4 cup, depending upon what rice you're cooking. Okay, when you buy vegetables, when you cut the vegetables, you have to throw away pieces of it. So that's why a lot of restaurants, like a bunch of cheaper restaurants, use frozen vegetables. So their yield factor remains the same. So they can save money on it because now the broccoli is cut. Now the potatoes are cut properly. Okay, but the expensive restaurants use fresh and they charge more for it. Okay? The other thing you need to know really is about the difference between a teaspoon and a tablespoon. How many of you know that those are two different things? Teaspoon and tablespoon.
Yes.
Okay? So a teaspoon is smaller than a tablespoon. Remember that. There are three types of spoons. Anybody know what the three types of spoons are?
No.
Oh, come on. There's a teaspoon, there's a tablespoon, and then there's a soup spoon. Okay? So soup spoon is not used as a measure. Okay? But a teaspoon and a tablespoon is used as a measure. So tell me, which is bigger, teaspoon or tablespoon?
Tablespoon.
Tablespoon.
Yeah, right. Like when your kid is little, you use a teaspoon, right? When you're, sorry, smaller. When your kid gets bigger, you try to give them a tablespoon. So what else you need to know? Gallon. Okay, so now when you look at gallons, what's in a gallon? Can anybody tell me what's in a gallon?
64 ounces.
Okay, good, very good. So what items do you see as a gallon?
Milk.
Yes, milk, good. That's the first thing you think of, right?
Yes, because every day, every morning I have to drink my coffee and then
Uh-huh. So how much do you buy a gallon of milk for?
Can you repeat the question, teacher?
How much do you buy a gallon of milk for? Just,
It's usually around almost $6. It's like five something.
yeah, gummit. Is that how expensive milk is?
I pay about
Yeah.
five something. So it depends too, because I get two different types of milk. If I get almond milk, I'm paying like $6 or more for it sometimes. And a regular milk is usually like five something, almost six.
So let's take $5, okay? Okay, so Courtney said that 64, what did you say? 64 ounces to a gallon?
Yes.
Okay. So how much ounces does that cost? In ounces, how much does that gallon of milk cost?
Cents.
Huh? I don't have my calculator on me, guys. So you guys
uh,
like
8 cents per
80,
ounce.
80 cents. Is that right? Anybody else?
1 gallon is how many
Five.
ounces?
Let's take $5. 64.
8 cents.
Good. 8 cents. Yes. You know why I knew 64, 80 cents is wrong? Because if you do 10 cents, then it's 80, then it's $8. That's how I knew it's wrong. Okay, anyways, so it's 8 cents, right? So how much milk do you give your kid in the morning? Think about it. How big is the glass?
One cup, teacher.
Huh?
One.
One by one. Maria first.
1 cup.
Yeah, 1 cup. How many ounces?
4.
Oh my God, that's too little. It's a small cup.
I'm sorry, teacher. I use the Europe measure.
Oh, but you're in America. You can't say that.
Yeah, I know.
You can't say that. That's not an excuse. Remember that. Usually cups are anywhere between 8, 12, and 16. Okay, so usually the cups, the small cups that you have is 8 ounces.
A ounce liquid.
Yes, yes. Liquid ounces, like, good. Hey, Catalina, good morning. 8 liquid ounces. Very good. Very good. Now, liquid ounces and dry ounces are different, right? Like 8 ounces of flour and 8 ounces of milk are going to weigh different, right? Yes? No? Maria the baker,
Yes, it's different.
it's different. Why is it different?
Oh my God.
Okay, hang on just a minute. Give me a couple of minutes. Let me just clean my throat and come back, okay? Think about why it's different. Okay, Maria, where are you?
I'm here, teacher.
Where? Here. Okay, great. Okay, so think about it that way. Okay, like flour and milk, they weigh differently, right? So usually you have to think about liquid measure and dry food measure, okay? Always you have to think about that. Do you understand? Okay, so when you're making bakery items, okay, anything when you're baking, you have to use a lot of dry measures because baking is about flour and water or cream or milk. Okay, you got to know almonds, how many ounces of almonds. Now, almonds are dry, right? Okay, that's why it's really, really important to know those things. Got it? Understand? Okay, so big things for you to remember is ounces and pounds, gallons to ounces, dry to dry and wet, and then tablespoon, teaspoon, okay? And then cup measures. Okay? Usually a lot of things come in cup measures, okay? So one cup usually is 8 ounces. And then 8 ounces equals, multiplied by 2, 16 tablespoons. And that's dry measure. So write that down. 1 cup equals 8 ounces equals 16 tablespoons. So 1, 8, 16. Easy for you to remember, right? And that's dry. Easy? So 2 cups would be 16 ounces and 32 tablespoons, right? See how I'm making it easy for you? Should I write it down or what? Is that going to help?
Yes, Professor, you can write it down.
Okay. Okay, I'm waiting for Microsoft Office to open up and Word to open up. Okay, here you go. We're going to make it really simple for you. Okay, measure. So I want you to think of 1 cup equals 8 OUNCES or OZ. Okay, equals 16 tablespoons. Tablespoons, remember that, tablespoons, okay? So now if you have 2 cups, help me out. What's this number going to be?
16.
16.
Good. OZ. And what is this number going to be? How many tablespoons?
32.
32.
Yes, good job. Good job. Easy? You're going to remember that, right? 1, 18, 16. 1, 8, 16, right? And this is for dry weight measure, right? Now, what else did I say for liquid? 1 pound equals how much? How many ounces?
16.
16 ounces, right? Equals how many gallons?
Is it 4?
4 gallons. Why 4 gallons?
Because 1 gallon.
It's liquid.
It's liquid, right? Courtney, where did you get 64 ounces from?
For a gallon.
Because 1 gallon equals, sorry, I wasn't thinking, 128 ounces.
$504.
Okay,
503. Oh, 50.
Repeat
so
the question.
1 gallon equals 128 ounces, right? It's 128, not 64. I'm sorry about that. I wasn't thinking.
512.
And how many pounds? LBS. Pounds. How many pounds? So what do you do? Divide this by what? Divide 128 by what? 16, right? 16 ounces to 1 pound, right?
Yes.
So how much is that? How much is that? Come on, I don't have the calculator with me.
It's 8 pounds, right?
8 pounds? 8, you said?
Yes.
Okay. 8 pounds, right?
Yes.
Now with liquid, you see how it's going, right? You know 128 ounces, when you're converting it to pounds, you got divided by 16, right? So it becomes 8, right? Now, how many cups to a gallon? 8-ounce cup, right? Cup still stays the same, whether it's dry or liquid, correct? The size of the cup does not change, right? Maria says 16. So 16 cups. Why 16 cups?
No, I 1 cup is equal 8 ounce. And you, what do you, what is your question?
How did you get 16 cups?
Multiply. One cup is equal 8 ounce.
Because the size of the cup, remember the size of the cup still stays the same, right? It's just a difference between dry and wet.
Okay.
The 8-ounce cup that you give to your kid is not changing in size, right? Whether you're putting liquid or dry ingredients in it. So you see how it flows, right? See, no one taught me this before, okay? I figured this out once I learned what this was all about. 1 gallon, 128 ounces, right? 128 ounces to pounds, 2 cups. You see how 8, 16? So it just makes my life easier, right? So now quart. Sometimes you buy milk. Kyoki, sometimes probably when you forget to buy milk or you run out of milk, you run to the bodega and you buy a quart of milk, right?
Yeah.
So a quart is how many gallons do you think fit in a quart? Think about that box. It's a box of milk, right? Right?
Did you have
Yeah.
how many gallons?
Quart is like a box, right? The
This-
tall box, right?
The skinny milk, right? The small skinny.
Right. The tall, skinny box, right? So think about it. If you have the gallon of milk, right? And you put 4 of those small, skinny boxes, that becomes like a gallon.
So 1 quart will have 1 gallon in it.
No,
It's less than a gallon because it's
it's
small.
way less. So that quart, you need 4 of those skinny milks to make 1 gallon. If you put them right next to each other, think about it. If you put those 4 boxes next to each other, that becomes a gallon, right? Understand?
Yes.
I'm just trying to explain you the easy way. Who works in a restaurant that gets milk delivery? Maria?
Yes, teacher.
Do you work in a restaurant that gets milk delivery?
Yes.
So, you know when the milk comes, right?
Yes.
Okay? The milk crate, right, has 4 gallons of milk, right? The crate, the milk crate.
Yes.
4 1 gallons, right? But if you order in quarts, how many milk quarts would be there?
In the gallon
No, in the quarts.
or in the quart. How many cup
No, quart.
quart
Quart, quarts.
in the gallon?
Yeah, how many quarts in the gallon?
Um, 4.
There you go, 4 quarts in the gallon. So when you order milk in quarts, how many quarts would be there? You get a 1 crate. How much is in 1 crate? How many of those skinny bottles can you fit in 1 crate?
4.
That's just for a gallon. I said 1 gallon is 4 quarts.
Mm-hmm.
So how many of those skinny things can you fit in a crate? If anybody wants to help her, help her.
Teacher, I don't understand the question.
What part of the question did you not understand? I'm gonna ask you a question.
You last question.
Okay, you work in a restaurant, right?
Yes.
So when the milk comes,
Mm-hmm.
how does the milk come?
Gallon.
No, yes, it comes in gallons. How does the milk comes in a crate, right? They call it milk crates. Okay, we're gonna move on. Does anybody else have a problem with that? You understand what a crate is? Courtney, do you know what a crate is?
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so
5.
why 5? So
It's
this is the milk crate, right? When the milk comes, it comes in a thing like that, right?
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yes? How
Yes.
many milks are in there?
4.
4. Sure.
4 gallon.
Okay. So when you get the quarts, if you order milk by the quarts, how many milks should be there?
4 gallon.
4 gallon.
No, I said if you order the milk in quarts.
Would it be 9 that would fit in there? You talking about how much would fit in the crate, right?
Yeah, the
4.
skinny ones.
Would
How
it
many
be
of the
9?
skinny ones make, how many of the skinny ones make a gallon?
4.
4, right? So every
Mm.
4 bottles equals 1 gallon, right?
Yes.
Correct? So instead of 4 gallons, there's going to be 16 quarts, correct?
Yes.
So 4 here, 4 here, 4 here, 4 here, right? Okie dokie, understand that? So 128, I jump to 128 to 8 pounds to 16 cups to 4 quarts. Okay, now you can convert it to teaspoons or tablespoons, but nobody does it in tablespoons, okay? You're not going to take 256 tablespoons to do this, okay? Remember that. You're just going to use, if it's more than 8 ounces, you're going to start using a cup. Okay, now some recipes use a liter. Okay, so usually it's not much. It's not there as much, but well, actually, we can do pints. So from quarts to pints, 4 quarts equal 8 pints. So do you know what pints are?
Yes, how the little ice creams come. The Haagen-Dazs ice creams are in pints.
Good. So pints are, so this is probably what you buy. Understand? I know it's Haagen-Dazs. She's thinking about ice cream. Okay, usually the smaller boxes is the pints. So it's the half of the quart. Get it? You guys have seen this, right? When you buy like dairy creamer, a coffee creamer, it comes in a pint, right? Okay. Or sometimes pint, it can be like this. This is a skinnier bottle. See, this bottle and this bottle is different, right? 4 of these and 16 of these. Okay, sometimes they come in bottles like that. But mostly it comes in a bottle like this. Okay, so it's twice as much. So you need twice as many because that size is half the size of the quart. Am I confused? Who is confused? Tell me. Help me out.
Who is pink, teacher?
Who's what?
Pink's pound.
Oh, I don't know why I wrote that there. Pint, not pint.
Ah, fine.
Not
Who's the
punto.
pink?
Oh, my tea is finished. So any other questions on this? So if you write it down properly here, you can see if let's just write this whole thing here, copy. Okay, understand? Anybody else has any questions?
Can you send to this document, please?
Yeah, of course, I'll save it. I'll save it. Any questions on this?
No, thank you.
Okay. Miss Courtney, does this make it easier?
Yes, Professor.
I would be very disappointed if you had said no, Professor. I'm joking. Okay, let's take a 15-minute break, okay? All right. Oh, goodness. Okay. Okie dokie. All right, everybody back?
Professor.
Okay, so you understand the measures now, right? I'm teaching you the basic measures, okay? Now, if you look at, if you're trying to make chicken tetrazzini, okay? I know none of you make chicken tetrazzini, okay? But the thing that's on the screen right now, it shows you how to make chicken tetrazzini. Okay, Maria is probably going to say, can you make it bigger, please? Okay. Zoom. 200. Okay, good. Maria, good?
Yes, teacher.
So what we're going to do is we're going to make 48 servings of it. Okay, the yield. Remember what I said about the yield earlier? That's the yield, okay? So serving size. What is going to be the serving size? So do you know what, does everybody know, anybody know what a hotel pan is? Yes? No?
No.
No. Okay, good. I'm glad. That's good. So, okay. So when you guys go to restaurants, like buffet restaurants, right? You guys have seen pans like this, right? I'm sure when you have parties, like parties at home, you've bought a pan like that. Okay, this is like a 2.5-inch pan. When you say 2.5, that means the depth is 2.5 inches. Okay, all right. So this is like a full pan. So what happens is we put water in this and then put the flame underneath. Okay, so the water heats up and it creates steam and it keeps the bottom of the pan hot. Okay, and then that's why when you work in a buffet, you're supposed to stir the food constantly because the top, if you don't have a heating lamp, it gets colder. Okay, so this is a half style pan. Okay, what this does is two of these fit in one of these. Okay, so it's a half style pan. One of these fit in one of these. Okay, so this is a 2.5-inch, right? Now there are different sizes of pans also. There's 1-inch pans, like the depth is 1 inch, that's it. Okay, there's 2-inch pans, there's 4-inch pans. All right, and then there are quarter pans also. So when you think about those pans, let's go back to my drawing. When you think about, where's my draw? Okay, so when you work in a buffet or when you work in a kitchen, okay, you have these wells, right? Okay, these wells are actually standard wells. All these wells are actually 6 inches deep. Okay, and then the pans fit inside them. Okay, whether these are called, if they're 2-inch pans, it's called half pans. Sometimes you put one pan, a whole pan. Okay, so that is what a pan is. A pan is this. So what do you need to do? How much chicken do you need? How much stuff do you need to fill this pan of chicken with chicken tetrazzini? Okay, understand, Kiyoki? Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, good. Anybody else? Questions? So in chicken tetrazzini, the recipe calls for spaghetti, okay, margarine, celery, onions, flour, salt, pepper, chicken stock, chicken, mushrooms, green peppers, breadcrumbs, sharp cheddar cheese. So it calls for the ingredients, all these things are so much, right? So in order to make 48 servings, we're going to cut the chicken tetrazzini into and get 48 pieces out of it. Got it? Okay. So for that, somebody came up with this recipe. Okay, for 48 servings, you need 6 pounds of spaghetti. Now tell me, is spaghetti dry, or you need 6 pounds of dry or wet?
Dry.
Spaghetti comes dry, right? Good. Margarine, is it dry or wet?
Wet.
Okay, good. Celery, is it dry or wet?
Dry.
Okay, good. Onions, dry or wet?
Dry.
Right.
Dry.
Flour.
Dry.
Okay, so like that, you have to come up with that, right? So now, when you buy it, you usually buy spaghetti in pounds, right? Okay? Usually
Yes.
you buy celery in a bunch, okay? Usually you buy margarine in pounds. So this is the unit that you're buying it in. Now, this section says cost per purchase unit. Okay, so if I'm buying it at $1.03 a pound, okay, and I need 6 pounds of it. So how much is that going to cost me? Chilling.
618.
Yes, welcome. That's very good. Very good. So you see how the whole extension works now? Now, when I add these things up, it comes to $96.17. Okay? Everybody understands how that happened, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to feed 48 people out of this. So 48.96 divided by 48 is what?
$2.
Yeah, $2. Got it? Understand that, right?
Yes.
So the chef should know when he cooks or when he tells people what to cook, how much. Now remember, this is the cost per serving. This is your cost, okay? All right, now on top of this, remember, I'll go back to our formula now. Go back to our formula that we did earlier. I'm not going to put it in this page. I'm not going to bring that up, but we did that formula, right? Cost plus contribution margin equals selling price. Correct? Remember? Oh my God, what am I doing? Right? So what did it cost me? $2, right?
Yes.
It's a chicken dish, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how much am I going to sell it for? So $2 plus, what did we say? 23%, right? Would be the cost, right?
Yes.
So if $2 equals 23%,
Say $8.70.
how much?
$8.70.
$8.70, right? Is going to be the selling price, right?
Yes.
You sure? I don't have the calculator, so. So we'll do this like this, $2 plus equals $8.70, right? So how much is the contribution margin on this food?
$6.70.
$6.70, right? That's the
Yes.
contribution margin. Kiyoki, that's because we said that anytime we make chicken, our cost percentage should be 23%. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So $2 plus $6.70 equals $8.70. That's what we're selling it for. Any questions on that?
No.
No. Okay. Good. Very good. It just goes back to our last class. So remember, $2 thing, 23%. We're making $6. We're not making $6. Remember that last question that we asked Catalina last time? Because the profit has also and the other expenses has to be included. How much money is per serving is contributing to the running of the restaurant to pay for labor, costs, rent, profits, all that stuff. Okay, now let me ask you something. You're buying celery in a bunch. You're buying 2 quarts of celery, right? Okay, now do you use the whole celery or do you throw away some of the celery?
You throw away some. You cut the bottom off.
Right, correct. You cut the pod off. So you're not really getting 2 quarts, right? Onions, are you getting 2 quarts?
No.
Flour, maybe. Okay, salt, yes. Pepper, not really. Chicken stock, yes. Chicken, are you getting the full out of the chicken?
No, because it's going to shrink when you cook it.
Yes, very good, very good, very good. Mushrooms, maybe you are. Green peppers, no. Breadcrumbs, depends on what kind of breadcrumbs you're buying. Are you making the breadcrumbs or you are buying the breadcrumbs? Sharp cheddar, yes, you will get full. So you have to factor that into your costs, okay? Right? So that's called, you have to factor in the wastage factor. So I would add, depending upon what it is, I mean, my biggest cost is the chicken, right? Okay, I'll probably lose a pound of chicken. Okay, so my biggest cost is $235. Okay, so I'll probably take about $235 and call it like wastage, right? That's going to go into my garbage that I don't make any money out of. So most restaurants don't factor that in, just so you know. Most chefs don't know how to do that. Okay, unless they're trained to do that. At least that's been my experience. So, and then there are cleaning costs, okay, to clean the thing. Okay, now what I want to do is let's watch a video on, on recipe standardization. Where is it? Hopefully this is a good one.
Ready to start eating healthier? Meet Kachava. Kachava is the world's This presentation will cover the importance of standardized recipes and how to develop them for use in your school nutrition programs.
Nah, forget it.
Before we can dive into the details,
today I want to talk about how you can standardize your recipes so that you can get more customers coming back more often and spending with you. In my place, in my restaurant, I was having a big problems making sure that every plate of food that's reaching my customer tastes and looks the same, because that's what they're coming back for, right? They love their last experience. They want to experience and eat the same kind of food. But if they come back and they're not getting the same kind of food, maybe they don't want to come back anymore. And that was becoming a really big problem, and I had to resolve it. And that is why I had to find a solution to standardize my recipe so that I could keep getting more customers coming back. So if you want to actually standardize your recipes, you're going to need to document them. There's no way going around it, right? But when I began to think about documentation about recipes, I'm like, I don't know, because if I document my recipes, and I was thinking like putting a picture and under that the recipe, and then next to that a little description of how we're going to make it. I was like, if I put this up in my kitchen, what's stopping my cook from picking it up and running to my competition, or somebody picking it up and starting their own restaurant? I mean, my recipes were what were making me different from my competition, and I was a little afraid. But I got to tell you that I was hurting with my retention of customers, it not being as good as I want, because I knew one of the reasons was that my food wasn't consistent. And so my pain was a lot greater than the risk of some guy walking out with my recipe. So I just did it anyway. And I figured that if I do it, if the recipes are stuck on the wall, maybe it's going to be easier for these guys to actually cook it the same, make it, plate it the same, decorate it the same. So every item that's moving out of the kitchen looks the same. And who benefits from all of this at the end of the day the most is my customer, because it all looks the same when it goes out. So I said, these are all benefits that I could have, and my pain was bigger than the risk. I just did it. So guess what happened? At the end of the day, that fear that somebody's going to walk out with my recipes was just a fear. So if that's stopping you from documenting your recipes, standardizing the way your food should be cooked, take it from me, don't worry. The rewards are far greater than the risk. The reward of having your customers keep coming back and spending more with you and loving your food, and them really loving every plate, every time they came back, it tastes the same and they love the experience. Nothing greater than that. Nothing. And of course, your revenues go up. Can't top that. So the reward is far greater than the risk. So if there's any fear around documenting your recipes because you think it's going to walk out, throw it out of the window. My recipes were intact. They were on the wall. It didn't walk out anywhere. It didn't go to my competition. And not only did my customers keep coming back, it also helped me kind of manage my costs. That also helps too. So to bring back more customers, standardize your recipes. To standardize your recipes, document them. And when you're documenting them, if there's a slight fear that your recipes are going to be, walk into your competition, throw that fear out, just do it anyway. The rewards are far greater than the risk. Till next time, have a great week. Make it far more profitable. Make it far more easier.
That didn't help much.
There's this little known tax loophole that's giving New York homeowners the chance to drop their electric bill.
And when you complete learning this, you should be able to understand the need for a standardized recipe in your food service operation, know the steps in standardizing a recipe, and learn the method of stepping up a recipe for quantity production. Now, what is standardization? A recipe which is tested and gives the same product every time when it is tried under the same circumstances is called a standardized recipe. The United States Department of Agriculture defines a standardized recipe as one that has been tried, adapted, and retried several times for use by a given food service operation and has been found to produce the same good results and yield every time in terms of quantity and quality. Why should a recipe be standardized? Recipes should be standardized because they are effective management tools and help in assuring quality control. But recipes standardized for one operation may not be suitable for another because there might be variations in the equipment available and also other facilities. Since recipe standardization is a management tool, the main objective of achieving quality is possible. A standardized recipe benefits both the management and the customer. From the management point of view, the first and foremost, a standardized recipe gives consistent food quality because the recipe has been tried many times and the quality remains consistent in spite of whoever prepares it. Secondly, the yield of the recipe or the number of servings a recipe can give can be known beforehand because the recipe is standardized and the yield is predictable. So, overproduction or shortages can be prevented. Thirdly, the food cost can be controlled as the same ingredients in the right quantities can be purchased for the recipe and therefore raw food wastage can be prevented. Hence, a consistent purchasing procedure can be followed if the recipe is standardized and last minute decisions by the purchase officer can be minimized. Next, the use of a standardized recipe helps to maintain food inventory because the recipes to be produced is known in advance. In addition to all these benefits, the food service personnel are sure about the work to be carried out and hence efficient job delegation, job description, and job scheduling is possible when standardized recipes are followed. Also, in situations when an employee takes leave, others can do the job as the procedures are standardized and the same quality and quantity of the recipe can be obtained. Thus, last minute hassles can be reduced. Moreover, a newcomer or a trainee can gain confidence in preparing the food in large quantities. The chances of producing poor quality food is low and food shortages is also minimized. So, standardization helps in employee training. If a food is produced daily in a different method, the maintenance of food production record becomes very difficult. Instead, if a standardized recipe is used, the number of servings and the leftovers alone need to be recorded because the ingredients and the quantities used will remain the same and already be included. The next major advantage of a standardized recipe is portion control. Portion control is possible as the yield and portion size is already known through the standardization. Fixing of selling price is easy and quick and can be predetermined earlier. Hence, standardization is a vital and important management tool. Initially, standardization might be time consuming and may involve production costs, but they help to run the food service operation in a very efficient and smooth manner. Since there is consistent product quality possible through standardization, customer satisfaction is gained as the recipes are of the same quality every time. Needless to say, customers will be satisfied because they have a quality product served. So when the product is consistent, so also the nutritional value of the recipe does not change. The use of a standardized recipe in a hospital dietary department is of importance because the food is used as a therapy and the customer gets the right type of nutrients. If a standard recipe is not followed, nutrient per serving for a recipe can get altered. Hence, it is very clear that standardized recipe helps in maintaining quality control, portion control, cost control, inventory control, time saving, and gives consistent result. To sum up the advantages again, a standardized recipe helps in consistent food quality, recipe yield, food cost control, and purchasing procedure. Components of a standardized recipe. A standard recipe, whether it is prepared in a commercial food service operation like a hotel or in a non-commercial food service operation like a school, canteen, or hostel mess, the following components are important. A standardized recipe should have recipe title, recipe category, ingredients, weight or volume of each ingredient, preparation instructions or directions, cooking temperature and time, serving size, recipe yield, equipment, and utensils to be used. Apart from the above components, a food service operation can identify other possible components like options of food to be used. Apart from preparation
So
instructions
think
or
about all these
directions,
things that's
cooking
important, okay?
temperature and time, serving size, recipe yield, equipment, and utensils to be used. Apart from the above components, a food service operation can identify other possible components like options for an ingredient if it is not available, the nutritive value for one portion, a marketing guide where the ingredients can be purchased, the food safety guidelines, and alternative way of preparing the recipe, and substitute ingredients which can be used instead of a particular one.
So in today's world, in the post-COVID world now, there's a lot of substitution going on in recipes, okay? Because food availability is very limited right now, okay? And that's causing problems with people with allergies and some of those things, okay? Just remember that, keep that in mind.
Phases of recipe standardization. The standardization of recipes has to be conducted in 3 phases, which are recipe verification, product evaluation, and quantity adjustment. After a recipe flows through each phase, decisions are made and the recipe is standardized for a food service operation. Once it is standardized, the process should not be repeated unless the ingredients or equipment is unavailable. Recipe verification. In recipe verification, a review of the recipe is carried out in detail, how it is prepared and what is the yield. Before a recipe is standardized, careful testing and evaluation is important. Taking into consideration the factors deciding a particular menu suitable for the organization needs to identify the recipe source, like family recipe files, cookbooks, magazines, journals, special recipes from cooks, commercial food companies, and other food service operations can be the sources for the selection. The recipe should be tried out at smaller level. Before trying it, the recipe should be evaluated on the basis of availability of ingredients, yield, equipment, and skills of the employees. When this is done at a smaller level, large-scale testing will not become expensive. In case the recipes are obtained from home or from magazine, they require much more time to standardize because home size recipes are usually small. The recipe verification phase is further categorized into 4 major processes, namely review the recipe, prepare the recipe, verify the recipe yield, and record changes in the recipe. Under the first process, namely reviewing the recipe, all recipes should have a recipe title. A name of the recipe is an important component and it should imply the description of the recipe precisely, clearly, and should be appealing to the customers. Recipe category. The recipe category is a classification or grouping of recipes based on meal time. For example, a recipe may be categorized as a breakfast item or a brunch or a dinner recipe. If in case the organization does not have a category, a recipe category should be created in order to facilitate the organization of the recipes. Using recipe categories makes it easier to find recipes from a collection or from a computer. List of ingredients. The ingredients used in the recipe should be mentioned in the common or regional name used in that area. For example, oil to be indicated as vegetable oil or refined oil, and so on. The name of the product, product form, and any preparation techniques like diced, peeled, etc. should be listed. If a specific brand of ingredient is used, then it should be mentioned. Reviewing the ingredients will help in purchasing the proper amount and type of ingredients. The quantity of each ingredient should be listed along with the ingredient, and the units have to be mentioned clearly. Taking the above example, whether the oil is in cups or in liters or in ml, if the ingredient quantity is not in the preferred unit, then conversions have to be made before the recipe is prepared. If the term packet is used, then it should be mentioned with the quantity. Ingredients included in the recipe should be listed either as AP, as purchased, or EP, edible portion. This is done because in case of fruits and vegetables and greens, there is a loss in the portion after purchasing, and therefore this loss has to be taken into account. In case of raw meats, the cooked edible portion amount is always less than the raw as purchased quantity because during cooking, moisture losses and fat losses may be experienced. On the other hand, for rice, dal, and pastas, the cooked quantity is more than the directions as purchased because water is absorbed during the cooking process.
That's what we were talking about
The
earlier.
directions for preparing the recipe should be given step by step in an orderly fashion without confusion. Instructions for combining ingredients should be clearly mentioned. In case of processed foods, food safety guidelines like thawing, storage temperatures, holding temperatures should be included. For example, if oil is used, whether it should be heated to smoking temperature or added at the final stages should be mentioned. The cooking temperature and time is needed in a standardized recipe. For example, in a baking recipe, the preheating temperature of the oven, the temperature and time needed for cooking should be given. The final internal temperature should be mentioned for the product so that the degree of doneness can be known. The amount of a single portion in volume or weight, for example, two biscuits or one piece of cake, and so on, should be indicated. Whether the serving size is appropriate for the age group to be served has to be reviewed. For example, if the recipe is for children in a school food service, then an adult serving should not be given. The next component is recipe yield, and it refers to the amount of product that will be obtained after preparing a recipe. The cooking and serving minor and major equipments to be used in preparing and serving the recipe is an essential component. Sometimes different pieces of equipment can be used to give the same outcome, so the exact piece of equipment to be used for preparation and cooking the product should be clearly decided. After the review of the recipe is carefully done, the recipe can be prepared. Throughout the process of the recipe preparation, careful notes or any variation should be recorded. Verification of the recipe yield should be carried out after the recipe preparation is completed. The total final product divided by the number of servings gives the weight of a serving. For example, if the final product is 5,000 grams, the weight is equal to weight of a serving, which can be 200 grams, divided by number of servings, which is 25. Any changes or concerns should be recorded during the verification phase. Next is product evaluation. In this second phase, the acceptability of the recipe can be decided, and it will give information whether or not a recipe should be improved. The evaluation team should include the manager, the food and beverage staff, and customers. Two types of evaluation can be done, which is informal evaluation and formal evaluation. In informal type of evaluation, the product is prepared for the first time and an assessment is made whether the product is acceptable or not. At this stage, whether to continue or discontinue the standardization of the recipe is taken. If the product is rated as acceptable, the recipe will go through the verification phases, and finally, if all evaluation criteria is accepted, then the recipe may be prepared for the formal evaluation. If the recipe has a good potential of drawing customers to the food service, then a formal evaluation is conducted. The procedure to conduct a formal evaluation includes a group of people who are either food service staff members, students, or other customers to evaluate the recipe. An appropriate evaluation form has to be designed. Recipes for evaluation are made in small quantities, usually in 25 servings. The testing area for the recipes should be comfortable with drinking water, eating and serving utensils, napkins, evaluation forms, and pens or pencils. The testing area should not be near the kitchen so that other strong food aromas do not interfere with the recipe evaluation. Tasting procedure should be explained to the group and the evaluation form should be filled in. Lastly, the results can be tallied and summarized. Scores can be given, and based on the scores, the recipe can be rated as acceptable or rejected. Now, the next phase is quantity adjustment. If a recipe has been evaluated as acceptable, but it is not in the desired quantity, then the quantity adjustment phase has to be followed. There are several methods which are carried out to adjust the recipe for enlargement. These are factor method, direct table reading method, and percentage method. Now let us first see the factor method. The most commonly used method for recipe enlargement is the factor method. This method consists of three basic steps, mainly decide the factor to be used, multiply each ingredient with the factor, change quantity into common measurements, and the factor is a numerical value that is used to increase or decrease the quantity of a recipe and is found out as desired yield by current yield is equal to conversion factor. Then every ingredient in the recipe should be multiplied with the factor. Common measurements have to be used and the fractions have to be rounded off to the nearest common measures. In order to increase or decrease the recipe yield, similar factors should be used. It should be noted that when recipes are increased, the factor will always be greater than 1, and when decreasing the recipes, the factor will always be less than 1. The total weight of the enlarged recipes can be checked by comparing it with the total weight of the original recipes. The total weight of the original recipes multiplied by the factor should result in the total weight of the new recipe. If not, the calculation should be carefully rechecked for errors. Direct table reading method. The direct reading measurement tables can be used as a ready reckoner, and recipes which has to be adjusted in quantities is listed in this. The main advantage of this table method is that it is simple, quick to use, and does not require any mathematical calculations. As you see in this slide, for example, the weight and volume of ingredients for 25, 50, 100 portions can be maintained and ingredients quantity can be directly taken from the table. Supposing if the recipe has to be adjusted for 125 portions, the weight for 100 portion plus the weight indicated for 25 portions can be taken. The next method is the percentage method. In this method, the ingredients measurement is converted to weights and the percentage of each ingredient in relation to the total weight of the recipe is calculated. For example, let us take the making of coffee as an example. In the preparation of coffee for 5 portions, it is seen that 250 ml is required and the percent for the ingredient, namely milk, is 53% of the total weight. This percentage is calculated by the formula individual ingredient weight into 100 and the total weight equals percentage of each ingredient. The ratio of all the ingredients is converted into percentages. Multiply each ingredient percentage number by the total number of portions needed. For example, as you see above, to get the exact amount of each ingredient needed. After the percentages are established, any number of servings can be calculated and the ratio of ingredients to the total will be the same. These three methods are manually done and recorded, but the manual ways of adjusting recipes is time consuming and complex. As computers are in vogue nowadays, many software packages are available and are designed to meet the demands of recipe adjustment, nutrient analysis, food production, and reports. Let us see the benefits of the standardized recipes. Consistent food quality. The use of standardized recipes ensures that menu items will be consistent in quality each time they are prepared and served. Predictable yield. The planned number of servings will be produced by using standardized recipes. This can help to reduce the amount of leftover food if there has been overproduction and also will help to prevent shortages of servings on the line. A predictable yield is especially important when food is transported from a production kitchen to other serving sites. Customer satisfaction. Standardized recipes contain every detail of ingredient, quantity preparation and presentation and result in increased customer satisfaction. Food cost control. Standardized recipes provide consistent and accurate information for food cost control because the same ingredients and quantities of ingredients per serving are used each time the recipe is produced. Efficient purchasing procedures. Purchasing is more efficient because the quantity of food needed for production is easily calculated from the information on each standardized recipe. Inventory control. The use of standardized recipes provides predictable information on the quantity of food inventory that will be used each time the recipe is produced. Labor cost control. Written standardized procedures in the recipe make efficient use of labor time and allow for planned scheduling of food service personnel for the workday. Training costs are reduced because new employees are provided specific instructions for preparation in each recipe. Increased employee confidence. Employees feel more satisfied and confident in their jobs because standardized recipes eliminate guesswork, decrease the chances of producing poor food products, and prevent shortages of servings during meal service. Reduced record keeping. A collection of standardized recipes for menu items will reduce the amount of information required on daily food production record. Standardized recipes will include the ingredients and amount of food used for a menu item. The food production record will only need to refer the recipe, number of planned servings, and leftover amounts. Now, to summarize, production of quality food involves a number of variables like good quality ingredients, efficient cooks, and standardized recipes. Standardization is essential for food production in any food service and is vital to obtain customer satisfaction. Thank you.
Okay. You understand why standardization is important and all that stuff, right? You understand that, how it's done. Everybody good with that?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, very good. Okay. Okay, what do we want to do now? Take a break? Take a 15-minute break?
Okay.
Okay, good. Go get some coffee. Good. So anybody has had a virtual appointment with their doctor yet?
I've had one before.
How was it?
It was fine, but I think in person is better.
Yeah. I have a 1:30 virtual appointment with the doctor. Do they charge the same amount?
Yeah, they do.
Oh my God. Oh God. I mean, do they make you like see your throat like like that or what?
Oh, well, I didn't have the virtual appointment for that specific. It was more because of my knee. But I had to pull my phone away to show my knee and bend it in front of my phone. I had to do that. So
Okay.
I think in person is better though, because they can really see, you know. But
Yeah. I know this virtual thing is like going to a different limit.
yeah. And it's not that long. It's kind of quick. The virtual, you know, appointments are not really long. Like if you were to be in person.
Yeah. Okie dokie, good. Okay, let's take a break. Okie dokie, everybody's back. Okay. Okay, so we learned a lot of stuff today, okay? Let's see now. Living on my documents. OneDrive. 201. Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's do this. Come on, let's do this. I'm just gonna delete this. Okay, let's do this. Everybody can see this, right? Everybody's back, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so what is the ounce cost on this? What is the food cost on this? 6-ounce portion of all-purpose beef purchased at $4.10 a pound. So what are you gonna use? Dry or liquid? Hey, didn't I write down the
Dry.
ounce to pound? Okay, I did not write that down. Okay, equals 1 lb pound, 1 pound. I thought I'd written that down. Okay, So you're going to use this, right?
Yes.
This formula here, right? So what are we going to do? How are we going to do this?
You mean is how many for answer, right?
Yeah.
25 cents.
25 cents.
Around 25 cents. If 6 answer is $1.54.
Okay, let's go back to the basics right now, right? Let's go back to the basics. $4.10 per pound, right? I'm going to teach you a very, very basic way. 1 pound equals
16 ounces.
wait, yeah, 16 ounces, right? Very good. Equals $4.10, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So how much is 1 ounce going to cost?
26.
1 ounce equals
26 cents.
$4.10 divided by 16, correct?
Yes.
Sure, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then how much is 6 ounces going to cost? So $4.10 divided by 16 multiplied by 6, correct?
Yes.
So how much is that? How much is that, guys?
154.
154, yes, good. 1.54. So what you were doing was 1 ounce, right? That's what you were doing. But remember, you're using 6 ounce portions. Okay, everybody clear on this?
Yes.
Okay, now let's do the next one. Okay, tell me. Cheese, 1.5 ounces, purchased at $5.25 per pound. So how much does 1.5 ounces cost? Again, 16 ounces equals $5.25, right?
Yes.
1 ounce equals how much?
33 cents.
5 divided by 16 equals
33 cents.
Equals, oh, why did I put minus? Equals, you said 33 cents, right?
Yes.
So you need 1.5 OZ equals how much?
50 cents.
0.33 times 1.5 equals how much?
50 cents.
Cents, right? Good job. Or 49 cents, 50 cents, right? Good
Yes.
job. See, I just want you to break it down like that. Nobody is going to see this stuff. I need you to understand how to break it down in your head like that. So when you see 1 pound, bring it down to the lowest number, 16 ounces, because this is on ounces, right? So when I read this as 1.5 ounces purchased at 525 per 16 ounces. Do you understand what I mean? I'm already converting it in my head right there. Okay, so let's do this. This is going to be fun. Copy, paste. Okay, lettuce, 1 leaf. Assume 20 leaves per head. Okay, so when you buy 1 lettuce, you can pull 20 leaves out of the lettuce. Okay, got it? So purchased in a case of 24 heads. Okay, so 24 heads means how many leaves? Go ahead, how many leaves? Okay, let's go back. 1 head equals 20 leaves, right? Correct?
Yes.
So how much is 24 heads?
480.
480. Okay, so now 480 costs 480 leaves cost 50, right?
Yes.
So how much does 1 leaf cost? 27.50 divided by
480.
About 6 cents.
6 cents.
0.06, right?
Yes.
Per leaf. Understand? So when you're doing recipe calculation, it's really important that you do this piece, okay? Understand? Clear?
Clear.
So onion. So when you get, so this is what we were talking about, standardization. This is the standardization piece. Sometimes you might get 19 leaves per head. Sometimes you might get 22 leaves per head. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Okay? Don't let that bother you. Kioki, Maria, Courtney, you understand, right?
Yes.
Yeah. One Alexis.
Yes.
Okay, you guys are following. Good. So now let's do this. Onion. So one slice of one onion has 12 slices. Okay? And now 2.5 onions in a pound purchased at 174 per pound. So how much would one slice be? Because one slice goes in your recipe. Right? So how are we doing this?
There's 2 ways to calculate this.
Okay, go ahead. So think about, read from the back. Read from the back. What does it say? 1.74 per pound. okay? And 2.5 onions in a pound. Okay? So how many slices in a pound?
29. 2.5 onions equals 29 slices.
So how much? So you want 12 times 2.5, right? Which is that? 29 or 30 slices, right? 30 slices. So you need to look at it as you're paying $1.74 for 30 slices, right? So now that divided by, sorry. Okay, so now 1.74 divided by 30 slices, right? Equals how much?
6 cents.
Yeah. 6 cents per slice. So 6 cents might not mean much, but if you're somewhere and you're making hundreds of sandwiches, it's a lot, okay? So now buns. Copy, paste. One package of 18 buns purchased at $3.20 a package. Maria, how much is one bun? Tell me. Maria's not here, okay?
Yes, teacher, I am here, but I don't know who is born.
Don't worry about who is bun.
It's Chinese bread.
It's Chinese bread. So if you buy 18 buns for $3.20, how much is one bun? You're worrying about the wrong thing. Don't worry about what the bun is.
One second.
So you're like me. You're not using a calculator today.
Would it be 18 times $3.20
No, you're one bun.
to find the answer? Is that how you would do it?
No. You're paying $3. You go to Costco, okay? You're paying $3.20 for 18 buns.
57.6.
How did you get 57.6?
She times 18 times 320.
Multiply 3.20.
No, it's a package, one pack. 18 buns in a package. You go to Costco, you pick up 18 buns, and you pay $3.20. How much does one bun cost you?
It's about 18 cents.
I know Xiaodong and Chilling, you understand, but I need Kyoki and Maria to understand this.
One bun in package. 80 portion. One bun.
18 cents, right?
18 package at $3.20 per package. I said 18 multiplied 3.20. Oh no.
Why multiply?
Why?
One bun.
1 bun. But yes, but this price is per packet, not one.
Well, yeah, that's already there. How much is 1 bun? If 18 buns are in one package, how much is 1 bun?
3.20.
No, that's a package.
Do you divide?
Why would you divide, Kyoki?
I don't know. I'm trying. I don't.
Come on, think, Kyoki. Come on, you can do this. You go to Costco, okay? You get the bagels. There are 18 bagels, and you pay $3.20.
Okay.
How much would one each bagel cost? You're going to give a bagel to your daughter, and you're trying to figure out how much that costs. One bagel. She's going to eat one bagel. Miss Courtney, you want to help them?
I got 18 cents.
Yeah, it's right. Why is it 18 cents?
You're dividing the 18 bagels that come in a package for $3.20.
Yeah, think about it. You're paying 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. They're all packaged together, okay? It's got that package here. And this thing costs $3.20, the price. How much does 1 bun cost? 1 each. There are 18 inside.
68 cents.
How did you come up with 68 cents?
No, 5.58.
58. So what you're telling me, 1 bun, you have 18 buns inside this package, and you pay $3.20. And if I ask you how much this costs, you're going to say $58?
Cents.
58 cents? How did you come up with 58 cents? How? See, you know why? No. You know why? Maria, you are here. You are here to learn. Kyoki, you too. You guys are here to learn, okay? Learn the way I'm teaching you guys. Forget what's in your head. Forget what's in your head. Remember how I said, break it down to individual. Break it down, totally break it down. Break it down. So what's going to happen is is 18 buns equals $3.20. One bun equals how much? 3.2 divided by 18 equals 18 cents. Understand? Break it down into little pieces. The reason you're putting buns on this side is because you're trying to find out what one bun costs. So break it down the way I'm teaching you. This is how I'm teaching you all through the way. 16 is that, 1 is what, and then 1.5 is how much. One head is 20 leaves, 24 heads is how many leaves? 480 leaves cost so much, so one leaf costs how much? Break it down into simple things. Got it? Do you understand? Let's do this. One more.
Yes.
One more, okay? Kyoki, you get it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Please break it down into simple steps. Okay, why isn't it moving? Okay, I'm gonna have to delete that, all those things. Okay, paste. Tomato ketchup. So we buy tomato in a 128-ounce package. And there's 4 gallons per case. Okay, is tomato ketchup wet or dry?
What?
Wet.
Wet, correct? So we're gonna use this formula here, right? Liquid, right? So we need to go 1 gallon is what? 128, right? Okay, 128 ounces, we know that, right? So we buy 4 gallons, right? Understand?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so 128 ounces is a gallon, right? So I'm forgetting that a gallon. So I'm going to put 128, I'm going to buy 4 times, correct? Equals what? 512, right? Remember, 4 gallons, right? 1 gallon equals 128 ounces. I'm paying so I'm paying $28 for 512 ounces, correct? Let's go back. Okay, for 512 ounces, I'm paying okay, so for 1 ounce, I'm paying how much? Simple. Go back to my original way. Break it down easily. Okay, Kyoki, tell me.
5 cents each ounce.
Right, 5 cents each. And then equals, so that'll be
15 cents.
8.05 divided by 512 multiplied by 3. Correct? Is that right? Xiaodong, is that right? Courtney, is that right?
Yeah, yes.
That's wrong.
The formula is right.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the formula. Nothing wrong with the formula. But read the question.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Tomato ketchup comes in
Time,
packs of 3 ounces.
time 4.
The tomato ketchup comes in packets of 3 ounces. So these are small packets. How much does a package cost?
The purchase, the price, time 4.
So think about this. 512 ounces of 28 ounce package, 4 gallons, right?
Yes, the $28 5 cents is the total price.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's. I think the formula is right.
Good, very good, very good, very good. I wanted to challenge you. I wanted to challenge you, okay? Good. Okay. Kyoki, you understand?
Yes.
So go back to basic, okay? This is kind of how I learned how to do these things, okay? They used to tell me in school, this is what, 210. They used to tell me in school that I have to memorize those every part of that stuff. And I had memorized. Then I realized when I got into the real field, I never use half those conversions. So these are the conversions that I really need. Okay? So think about it this way. Break it down to basic stuff. That's all I want you to do. And that's enough for today, right? And I'm going to upload it in Jupyter. Not Jupyter, whatever. Um,
Canvas.
Canvas. Yes, yes, yes. I'm starting to. Okay, now 1:30. I have my doctor's appointment. Virtual doctor's appointment. Let's see what they do. I'll tell you guys next week. Whether I have to put my phone in my throat or not.
Thank you, teacher.
You're welcome. Okay. Yeah, class is over. I'm going to put the file in there.
Yeah.
Go ahead, speak. Go ahead, say something.
Happy Columbia Day. Happy weekend.
Oh, Monday is Columbus Day.
Yeah.
Oh. Do you guys have class Monday?
No, I don't. I never have a class on Mondays. It's Tuesday through Friday.
Oh, okay, that's good. Oh my God. I can't believe now a student is telling me I don't know how to do chapter 1 homework. Can you believe that? Oh my God. Okay, anyways. And we've had so many classes. Anyways, that's okay. Nothing I can do about it. Everything I put everything under files. And there are video recordings of everything. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Have a nice weekend. I hope I feel better. I hope you guys don't catch anything meanwhile.
You too, Professor. Take care.
Thank you, Professor. Get well.
Yeah. Feel better.
Bye. Stop recording.